On the edge of an old town stood an abandoned house. Years ago, a brilliant scientist once lived there, but according to local stories, he disappeared while conducting a strange experiment. After that night, no one ever saw him again. For decades the house remained empty, silent, forgotten, untouched, until one night, two police officers were patrolling the quiet streets when they noticed something unusual. A faint blue light was glowing from inside the abandoned house. The officers looked at each other in confusion. That house had been empty for years, so they decided to investigate. They walked toward the house and carefully approached the old wooden door. Using a crowbar, one of the officers forced the door open. The rusty lock snapped, and the door slowly creaked open. The two officers stepped inside, but suddenly, bang, the door slammed shut behind them. Both officers froze. There was no wind, yet the door had closed with incredible force. The house was silent again. They turned on their flashlights and began exploring. As they moved deeper inside the house, they discovered something unexpected. It was a laboratory, old machines, glass equipment, scientific tools, all covered in dust, but strangely, the room looked almost recently used. A chair was slightly pulled back, papers were neatly placed on the desk, as if someone had been working there not long ago. One of the officers began searching the room. Meanwhile, the other officer noticed something strange on the scientist's table, a calendar. He slowly walked closer to it, and when he looked at the date, he froze. The calendar showed today's date, but the calendar itself looked extremely old. Suddenly the officer felt dizzy, his vision blurred, and in that moment, he began seeing something strange, right in front of him. He saw the scientist sitting at the desk, working, writing notes. The scientist opened a notebook and wrote, "It works tomorrow." The officer watched in shock as the scientist continued his work, but suddenly, "Hey, are you okay?" The other officer shook him. The vision disappeared instantly. The officer took a deep breath and realized he had just been standing there, frozen. He told his partner what he had just seen, but before they could talk more, the second officer pointed toward the corner of the room. "I think I found something hidden behind equipment." There was a strange machine. It looked like some kind of experimental device. The two officers slowly walked closer to it, and then suddenly, the machine turned on. Bright blue light filled the entire laboratory. Both officers stepped back in shock. The machine began making strange electrical sounds, and then a small screen flickered to life. At first the image was blurry, but slowly it became clear. There was a person on the screen, an old man. One of the officers whispered nervously, "Who is that?" The other officer stared at the screen in disbelief. Then he realized something. That's the scientist. The same scientist who disappeared years ago. He looked older now, much older, and it seemed like he was trying to say something, trying to warn them, but before they could understand anything, everything went black. Both officers suddenly lost consciousness. When they finally woke up, it was morning. Sunlight filled the room. The strange machine was gone. The laboratory looked empty, as if nothing had ever happened. The two officers looked at each other in silence. Neither of them could explain what they had seen. Was the scientist somehow communicating from the future? Did the machine really work? Or was it all just a strange dream? What do you think happened in that abandoned house? If you enjoyed this mystery story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more strange and unexplained stories, and tell me in the comments. Was it really the scientist trying to communicate? Or were the officers just dreaming?